Have you ever cried out to God and felt like heaven stayed silent? You prayed, you fasted, you believed, but the answer never came. Or if it did, it was late, too late in your eyes. Maybe you're in that moment right now. You're waiting for God to heal someone you love. You're pleading for breakthrough, for a door to open, for the pain to end. But all you hear is silence. Why does God sometimes delay? Psalm 69 and verse 17, David cries out, "And hide not thy face from thy servant, for I am in trouble. Hear me speedily." David wasn't asking casually. He was in anguish. And yet, the answer didn't come right away. If you've ever wondered where God is in your waiting, this message is for you. Today, we will dive deep into the Word of God and uncover 4 divine reasons why God sometimes delays, and what it really means when heaven goes quiet. But stay with me, because by the end of this message, your spirit will rise. Your waiting will take on new meaning, and you will declare, boldly and with faith, "My God is never late. He's right on time. Lord, open my heart to your wisdom. Help me see what I cannot see. Teach me to trust you in the delay. I know you're not punishing me. You're preparing me." Number 1 reason why God sometimes delays is because his ways are not our ways. Have you ever made plans only to have them completely fall apart? You mapped it out. You prayed over it. You thought it was the right move. Then God interrupted, because God's ways are not your ways. Isaiah chapter 55, verses 8 and 9 declares, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Let that sink in. You're operating with a human map, but God is looking at the eternal blueprint. You see the moment. God sees the movement. You see the pain. God sees the preparation. You see the delay. God sees the destiny. Maybe that job you prayed for would have pulled you away from him. Maybe that relationship you wanted would have destroyed your purpose. Maybe that instant miracle would have robbed you of the deeper faith he wants to build in you. God isn't just answering your prayer. He's shaping your life. And sometimes, that takes time. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding." Your understanding is limited. His wisdom is limitless. Sometimes the delay is not a no, it's a not yet, because he's preparing something better than you could ask or imagine. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 9 tells us, "But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man, the things which God hath prepared for them that love him." So when God delays, it may mean he's still working on something you couldn't even dream of. Pray this prayer. Father, I trust your plan even when I can't trace it. I won't lean on my understanding. I lean on your heart. I know that what you're preparing for me is better than anything I've asked for. Think of Abraham. God gave him a promise. You'll have a son. But that promise didn't happen overnight. It took 25 years. Can you imagine waiting 25 years for the promise of God? But during that delay, God wasn't being cruel. He was preparing Abraham's faith, his character, his obedience. And when Isaac finally came, he didn't just bless Abraham. He became the seed of a nation. Your waiting season could be the womb of something world-changing. Say this prayer. Lord, I will not despise the delay. I believe the delay is divine. I believe you are birthing something bigger than I can imagine. I wait in faith, not fear. Number 2 reason why God sometimes delays is so you can demonstrate your faith. Let's be real. Faith isn't revealed when everything's perfect. Faith is revealed when nothing is working. And you choose to believe anyway. That's why sometimes God delays. Not to punish you, but to purify your faith. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9 tells us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Don't miss that phrase. At the proper time. There is a harvest. There is a promise. But you must not give up before the harvest arrives. Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 36 says, "You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what He has promised." Faith is not just believing once. It's continuing to believe. When you feel forgotten, when nothing makes sense, God is watching to see. Will you trust me? Even when you don't see me. Declare this to yourself. God, I will not give up. I believe your word. I believe your promise. I will keep showing up, keep praying, keep trusting. Even in the silence. My harvest is on the way. Job lost everything. His children, his wealth, his health. Yet Job still declared in Job chapter 13 and verse 15, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust in him." That's radical faith. That's faith in the delay. That's what God is looking for in you. Because delay is not denial. Delay is often the platform God uses to showcase your unshakable trust. Let me ask you, have you been treating God's silence like a no, when it's actually a divine invitation to deeper faith? What if the greatest breakthrough in your life is on the other side of your perseverance? The delay you're experiencing right now could be your greatest demonstration of faith. Heaven is watching. Hell is trembling. And your faith is rising. The third reason why God sometimes delays is so He can bless your waiting. There's a kind of blessing that only comes through waiting, not the blessing of comfort, not the blessing of quick fixes, but the blessing that forms deep within your soul. When you learn to trust God in the silence. Isaiah chapter 30 and verse 18 says, "Yet the Lord longs to be gracious to you. He rises to show you compassion. For the Lord is a God of justice. Blessed are all who wait for Him." Look at that again. Blessed are all who wait for Him. It doesn't say, "Blessed are those who receive quickly." It doesn't say, "Blessed are those who never struggle." It says, "Blessed are those who wait." There is a kind of blessing that only comes from standing still, from not rushing ahead of God, from learning to let Him lead. Say this prayer now. God, I will not run ahead of you. I will wait in faith. I will wait with hope. I believe my waiting is not empty. You are filling it with blessing. Let's rewind to Exodus. God promised to bring His people out of Egypt and into the Promised Land. But what should have been a 2-week journey took 40 years. Because while they were ready to leave Egypt, Egypt was still inside them. God had to use the wilderness to purge their hearts, to train them in obedience, to prepare them for the promise. Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 2 says, And thou shalt remember all the way which the Lord thy God led thee these 40 years in the wilderness, to humble thee, and to prove thee, to know what was in thine heart, whether thou wouldest keep his commandments or no. The delay was doing something divine. And some of you watching right now, you're in your own wilderness season, and you're wondering, why hasn't it happened yet? Let me tell you what the Spirit of God is saying to you. I'm using this delay to bless you with strength you didn't know you had. I'm purging the fear, the pride, the doubt, so you can carry what I'm about to release. Do you know that sometimes the greatest things God does in your life happen not while you're moving, but while you're still? Psalm 46 and verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is hard in a world that runs on speed. But stillness is holy. Stillness is powerful. Because in the stillness, God speaks. In the stillness, God heals. In the stillness, God blesses. Lamentations chapter 3 and verse 25. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. There is a divine reward for waiting, a kind of goodness that only comes when you don't rush his process. The fourth reason why God sometimes delays is so he can be glorified in the end. Now this is where it gets powerful, because sometimes God waits, not because you're not ready, not because you've sinned, not because he's mad, but because he wants the world to see his glory when he shows up. John chapter 11 and verse 4 says, "When he heard this, Jesus said, This sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it." This was about Lazarus. He was sick. His sisters sent for Jesus. But Jesus didn't come right away. He waited, and in that delay, Lazarus died. But the story wasn't over. In John chapter 11 and verse 40, Jesus said to Martha, "Did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" Then, after 4 days in the tomb, when all hope was gone, when everyone thought it was too late, Jesus called out, "Lazarus, come forth," and he came out, alive. Why did Jesus delay? So that everyone would know this wasn't man's doing. This was God's glory on full display. And maybe that's what God is doing in your life right now. He's allowing things to look impossible, so that when the breakthrough happens, no one will be able to deny that it was him. Declare this prayer. God, be glorified in my delay. Turn every dead thing into a testimony. Let your name be lifted high through my story. Hear me clearly. The delay is not the enemy of your miracle. It's the stage. The longer the delay, the louder the glory. The more impossible it looks, the more undeniable God's power will be. Don't be discouraged if it looks dead. God is about to resurrect something in your life. Romans chapter 8 and verse 18. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. The glory that's coming will make the pain worth it. Can you declare this? Lord, I give you every disappointment, every delay, every heartbreak, and I ask you to glorify your name in my life. Let my waiting become worship. Let my story become a miracle. So now you know, if God is delaying, it's not because he doesn't love you. It's because he's doing something deeper, greater, more eternal than you can imagine. Let's recap. God delays because His ways are higher than yours. God delays so you can demonstrate real faith. God delays so He can bless your waiting. God delays so His glory can be revealed through your story. And through it all, He's shaping you, refining you, loving you. Don't let the delay deceive you. God is closer than you think. And when He moves, it will be worth every tear. Now declare this prayer to yourself. God, I receive your timing. I trust your wisdom. I surrender my fear. I believe that you are working in my delay. I believe that I will see your glory. I will not give up. I will not give in. I will wait in faith, and I will praise you until the answer comes. If this message spoke to your spirit, if it reignited your faith in the delay, then don't leave without taking a step. Like this video. Subscribe for more spirit-filled messages. Drop a comment. Let us know what you're believing God for. We're standing in faith with you. And share this message with someone who's been wondering why God hasn't answered yet. Because this delay might just be the beginning of the greatest miracle in their life. God is never in a hurry, but He's never late.